Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mic Check, episode 219. Good people. I guess this is the last mic check. It's the last mic check of basketball season. Basketball will now be in the main episode. I guess the mic check kind of will go away.
Man, it's about to be a basketball pod. It's about to be a basketball pod. Let's be real here.
Basketball pod.
As long as Atlanta
Falcons foolishness.
Drive cars with their girlfriends. Damn fool.
Man, I tell you, I guess it wasn't UGA only. I mean,
we're not doing that. That's y'all thing. Don't try to repurpose that to somebody else.
But the whole state, man, it's the water, the clay.
Nah, that ain't got nothing to do with no red clay. That's y'all specialty. Y'all go-to move, fast and furious.
Yeah.
Too fast, too furious.
Yeah, y'all go for the grand slam every time. Jail, multiple years.
Wait, y'all go too now. Let's act like y'all just.
We bond out. Y'all don't be eligible.
Where are you bonding out of?
Jail.
Okay.
My bad. Let me.
Yeah,
prison. Y'all be in prison. Y'all be in prison.
Yeah, you can't sit out there.
Ain't no bond.
We don't go to
Ain't
jail.
No
we bond out. Yes, you do.
It's only one way out for y'all. It's two ways, I guess. Well, one body bag. I guess that's really it.
I almost made a rehab joke, but I'm better than that.
For who? They don't rehab for y'all.
I'm talking about for y'all.
I know. At least we get there.
White privilege.
White
well,
I mean, depends on. I will vote. Depends on who.
And he was in college for 7 years and didn't graduate. So I mean,
he's alive. He's alive and free.
Anybody seen him?
We know who we haven't seen.
Hey man, we had Tebow, man. It's balance. It's the yin and the yang. It's
that is not
in the bad and bad in the good.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah.
The yin and the. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 219. Man, we here. Mic check. Y'all know what it is. We do basketball.
It's a basketball podcast, y'all. That's what it is. For the next few months,
do a little.
It's basketball,
and then we'll take a break, and then we'll do a little bit of HBCU news. Nothing really. No college football, and then we'll get to foolishness. So
the basketball podcast, and we don't care about college basketball. Y'all finna get a heavy dose of NBA. Yeah, just a heavy dose of NBA.
Draft talk. And draft talk. That's really it. Lord. So let's start out with the Hawks, man. First off, how you feeling, brother? We ain't really do no intro.
Man, I'm cooling, man. It's Monday. Had a pretty chill Super Bowl yesterday. Not a dog in the fight. So yeah, it's all right today. I'm cooling. Happy to be here.
Dog in the fight.
I mean,
yeah. Super Bowl, we'll get to it.
Very emotionless Super Bowl for me. It wasn't even like I was like, we picked last week. We kind of knew what it was and picked correctly, if I may say so myself.
It was like the first half of the national championship game. It was the whole game. It was like, yeah, we'll get there to the. It was New England versus Seattle. I would say seasonless football.
Draft.
But we'll get there. Let's get to it, man. The Hawks. They played the Heat, the Jazz, and the Hornets while they are playing the Timberwolves tonight. Live look-in. We do not have no Jalen Johnson. We do not have Dyson Daniels. We do not have Jonathan Kuminga.
Man, we didn't have. Let's be real. Even if we had, this is a schedule loss. Let's go ahead and get some people healthy right now. We were not about to beat the Timberwolves with their roster. They're a better team than us. Best thing that you can do is let Dyson, who I think had a calf or something, and I think his hand is still not 100%, and Jalen, who's played 100 minutes. Yeah, so it made sense to give him a break. That's all that was to me, at least. But as y'all see on the screen for the people who are watching, for the people who are listening, we did get Onyeka Okungwu back after the dental fracture from Jaylen Brown's elbow. And he came back wearing a new Bane mask. I was wondering what exactly they were going to give him, because in the past, y'all have seen like Rip Hamilton, you've seen LeBron James, you've seen Kyrie and Kobe wear the I don't want to call it the R. Kelly mask, but it is kind of like the R. Kelly mask. But that was more of like,
you could have said Phantom of the Opera. You could have said anything else.
I mean, you think these people know about the Phantom of the Opera?
Hey, brother, this your show. You got it. You right.
But I was wondering what kind of protection he was going to wear on his face, because it is in such a unique place. It's not the eye or the nose what they typically wear. It is literally a fracture of, I think they call it the mandible, the jaw. And they put on this cool ass Bane mask. And at first I thought it was a joke. And then I found out that in fact, this is very real. And it seemed for the most part that whoever put the thing together, it didn't bother him. He came right out shooting when he returned. But number one, just happy he's back and healthy. I'm actually surprised he's playing tonight. I would have rather let him get some more rest, but he also probably trying to get his wind up before, because all of this is, I think, kind of chill until after All-Star.
Yeah. The difference between all of those other masks you were talking about and this one is everything had to deal with the nose. Or Joe Johnson, if you remember, depending on how old you are, had one with the Phoenix Suns when he broke his orbital bone, which is the eye. So he I figured the mask was going to look different, and I mean he still had to breathe. When you cover up the mouth, sometimes you have to cover up the nose. So I knew it was going to look interesting, and I knew that a lot of that, some of that is sauce too. Like they got to keep the jaw wire shut. You got to make it look somewhat cool. So
no, it's not wire shut. And the one thing that you could see is when because he sat on the bench for a couple games, I assume trying to get himself in a place where he felt comfortable playing basketball, but they got him right. He looked like himself. You know how people say you're looking like yourself again.
Yeah, I didn't mean like his actual jaw. Like they keep that part of the mask shut. Like he can only take that part off. So, he came out playing well. The fracture looked absolutely horrific. His whole right side of his top jaw was just caved in, and it was nasty. But he came back and he was shooting. Right. He came back to a new team too.
Right. Let's start with the Heat game. We beat the Heat 127 to 115. Jalen Johnson, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 turnovers. I love that. Ricochet, 7 points, 7 rebounds, solid enough. Christian Koloko, 2 and 2. Nikhil, 19 points on 21 shots, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Dyson Daniels, 2 points, 5 assists. Yeah. CJ gave us 26 off the bench. Corey Kispert, really good game. 13 points off the bench, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. And Luke Kennard, 12 points. Peace out, my brother. This game was very interesting to me, and I don't know if everybody knew it, but this was the 20th anniversary, I think, of the Dwayne Wade Shaquille O'Neal championship. So they celebrated this in Miami. So it was something special because you had all of the important people in Miami there. Gary Payton, Jason Williams, Shaq, Lonzo Mourning, D Wade. Is for people in fraternities and sororities, this is where all your profiles show up at homecoming. And you there to celebrate their line, and then y'all lose handily.
I'll let you know that. I'll text you. I got you.
Go ahead. But yeah, they lost, and the Hawks beat them the entire game. I can only imagine how that went over in the locker room after losing in front of all the important people in your franchise not named LeBron James, Chris Bosh. So that was surely something. We beat them the entire game. What you got?
Yeah, we beat them the entire game. I don't think that this was a schedule loss for them. There's no Andrew Wiggins, no Norman Powell. Tyler Hero has been on the trading block for 2 years. Their starting was Fontecchio, Gardner, Adebayo, Mitchell, and Larson. Who Larson played pretty well.
Hey man, Pele Larson is a tough mofo, and I'll leave it at that.
He was playing well, but for us, shout out to the front court, Jalen, Koloko, Muhammad Gay, Asa Newell. They jumped Bam. That's what I took away from this. Bam had 16 and 14 rebounds, which he's gonna get his, but he was 4 of 16 shooting. Asa Newell gave us 17 good minutes off the bench at the 5. 8 points, 3 or 4 from the field. And then of course, Mo Gay. We don't look at the stats. We don't look at the stats right there. He just makes a defensive. He's just a defensive gnat. He's just everywhere. And then
defensive specialist. Give the man his credit. He's a specialist. When you go in, who you want me to get, and I got him. Lock up. Now, the offense leaves a lot to be desired, but I'm perfectly fine with a defensive specialist. We have enough offensive specialists on this team, specifically Asa Newell, that if we got one guy who's just out there to play defense, then yes, this is great. That's all we need. This is a good win for us.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it was a good win. Offensively, Jalen started out real slow and then came on in the second half. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I'm not against the notion of him going to the bench just because even though he plays good defense, he's so streaky. But the thing about that is tricky is him in the starting lineup allows him to kind of figure out, especially when he's shooting badly. He was 8 for 21, like 3 of 12 from 3. But he figures out and he gets it going and he may hit 2 or 3 in a row. And then you look up and he has 19 points. And you're like, damn, when did he get 19 points? And then CJ was CJ just went crazy.
He's our clutch scorer. When it comes down to it, you need a bucket. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, as we will talk about in this next game, is as much as Jalen is the centerpiece of the team. When there's one shot to take, it's going to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And just looking how quickly this Hawks, and we'll talk about it after we talk about all the transactions, but just seeing how this Hawks team has transitioned into egalitarian basketball where everybody kind of does their own thing and the ball's not hung up nearly as much. Nobody's standing in the corner anymore. Everybody got a role and everybody needs to play their part in order for this team to be successful. But on the nights where everybody does what's needed of them, we can be a pretty good basketball team. That's exciting.
Yeah, Dyson got to be better, but Dyson and Ricochet struggled. They struggled the past 2 games. Well, 2 games for this. So 2 of the 3 games.
And those are young guys who they're gonna have to play more basketball. That's what Jalen Johnson got the last couple years. It's time to play basketball. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker is an adult. CJ McCollum is an adult. So yeah, it's just giving them guys developmental minutes in order for them to build their skill set and confidence.
And this is the game to do it. You only had to worry about Bam. I mean, everybody else scored, but Bam was the one that was going to give you 30. He could give you 30. He could give you 40 if you let him go crazy. And you kind of
Hawkins had 21. He ain't bad. Kyle Ware.
21 is what you expected. Like, that's him going off. Everybody else Bam going off is 35. Everybody else going off is 18, 16.
Well, I don't know if Bam still got it. I don't think Bam still got it like that. I think he's a good basketball player at this point, but he's not. No, he's not better than Jalen Johnson.
I mean, Jalen Johnson is a top 5 player in the league right now.
I don't think that Bam is probably. I don't think that Bam is probably a top, maybe not top 10 for in the NBA right now.
I mean, I think Bam if he were the focal point of the offense, I think he could get you 30.
Oh, he could. I mean, he could still get it, but if everything got to come down to Bam, damn.
Well, that's what that's what this lineup was. It all came down to Bam. Like if Bam had gone off, they would have won. Bam didn't. So shout out to the front court.
I think we could have pushed it. Had he been going, I think we could have been like, okay, we go bar for bar with you. But thankfully they phoned it on in and we appreciate it. Moving right on to this Jazz game that we won 121-119 to kill Alexander Walker with a game-winning double. It wasn't like a bang shot. It was just bounced on the rim twice. He chucked it in there, and we made it. Now, of course, Utah Jazz, not the greatest group of players. Laurie had 18. Flip had 15. Cody Williams, I think maybe a terrible basketball player. He had 2 fantastic blocks. I think he had the 2 best players of his career against us. Isaiah Collier, Iron Man, back-to-back 48-minute games. And I'm going to tell you, he had 25 points, and he gave C.J. McCollum every bit of hell he could have ever experienced. He was putting C.J.
ass the whole
he was like, oh, yeah.
game, boy.
Old man, bring your ass on out here, old man, and crushed him. This is after he played 48 minutes the day before and had 20 assists.
Walked him right to the free ththrow line every time.
And killed him every time. And Ace Bailey with 20 points in 40 minutes. Bryce Sensabaugh, 18 points. He just had a quick run of those threes. And then Mikhailuk and Mamushvili, they see us, and it must be lunch every time. I was best with Reggie said they twins. They're not twins at all. They just have names that are similar, and they destroy us both.
Who are you talking about?
With Zvi Mamush. No, see, I just combined them just that quick. Zvi Mohalik, and Mamushvili is the dude who played for the Raptors. Mamu. He gave us a smooth 20.
I didn't know his name. Zvi, I called him Old Man Winter. He was out there cooking, bruh. He was out there playing horse.
They both look like they came from the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and Utah got a better team than. Well, we'll get to it.
Wait. Let me clarify this. I want to say this right now. Utah is doing a different type of tanking. They have a fantastic team of players over there. They could probably have one of the better starting 5s in the West if they really put all of their guys on the floor. But Danny Ainge is doing the Danny Ainge special, and he knows that it only cost him $150,000 because that's what he paid last year when it was John Collins and Laurie Marketing. So, no, I'll pay the $150 for the deliberate tanking. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah,
I'll pay the toll.
I mean, they actually, when they were in, like, it was a tie game, if I'm not mistaken, or very close to a tie game. I think it was 61-60 at halftime. Laurie can shoot, tall, real Dirk-like offensive player. Kyle Filipowski was very physical.
I like him.
Isaiah Collier. Yeah, Filipowski, I mean, he's a Duke guy, so you don't like him off the court, but I mean, he plays how you supposed to play at 16.
Perfectly fine basketball player. Played at 3, 4, 5-ish, depending on what you're gonna do. I like him, but then, let me tell you. Oh, go ahead.
And then Isaiah Collier, of course. Ace Bailey had a terrible game. He had a few turnovers. No, I'm sorry, he didn't have a turnover, but he was just 9 of 26. It's just he kept hitting clutch shot after clutch shot. And this team is young and wildly athletic. That double alley-oop they pulled off on the fast break, I said, give the ball to CJ. Give the ball to CJ, let him score, or give the ball to Kispert. Luckily, we have one of our trade players, one of the players that we got in the trade, Landale, showed up in a big way after getting off the road.
So Jalen Johnson, 22 points, 16 rebounds, 15 assists, 4 turnovers, 2 blocks. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. That is 22 points. That is 16 rebounds. That's 15 assists, 4 turnovers, and 2 blocks. That is a man game. This is This is the reason that you trade other players and build around this guy. 22, 16, and 15 is 2K stats. Now, with that, Zachary Ricochet, 0 of 8, 0 of 4 from 3. Completely unacceptable. 6 rebounds, 2 turnovers. Jock Londale, a.k.a. Young Jock, 26. 26. I'll put this on the screen for y'all to see. 26 points, 11 rebounds, 5 3-pointers made, 5 assists, 4 blocks. And this is after, as Reggie has aforementioned, drove from Memphis to Atlanta. He said, if I drive, I can get there for the shoot-around. Came to the shoot-around, played arguably, number one, the best debut in Hawks history as far as I'm concerned. Just play like a man. Just unbelievable. And scarily, I think he set the bar way too high. To keep it real with y'all. Dyson Daniels, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, very much so a Dyson Daniels game. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, 23 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. Kispert, 20 points off the bench, 7 and 9, 2, 4 from 3. I think that Corey Kispert was a good player that the Wizards did not know. I don't know how they didn't know it, but I don't know why they got rid of Corey Kispert, and I think that kind of leads me to believe that their leadership doesn't know what they're doing. Sorry, Travis Schlenk. Thoughts and prayers. Mohamed Gay, 9 minutes, 2 points, negligible. Asa, 16 minutes, 9 points, 3 rebounds, played well enough. And then CJ, 8 points, 3 of 12, 0 of 6, couldn't hit the bras out of a barn. Luckily, Nikhil Alexander-Walker
hit that fourth quarter shot, though. He good for one fourth quarter shot.
But we needed this win. The Jazz are a Ponzi scheme because there is a setup going on. They're going to tank these games.
The last year tanking. I'm going to let y'all know now. It's the last year tanking.
Danny Ainge has set up the jug of all jugs. He said, all right, I'm going to just keep running this team into the ground until I get everything that I need, and then I'm going to set it on fire. And let me tell you, with the acquisition of Jarren Jackson Jr., with Walker Kessler, Ace Bailey, Keontae George, and Isaiah Collier, are you going to be like, oh, this team is good. And shout out to me and Mike Wortham, the only people who've known the Utah Jazz have been a good team. With that being said, I think that they should have probably kept John Collins because that would have given them a bench. They went for Taylor Hendricks, and they ended up punting on him, and he just ended up not materializing.
They can put Kyle Filipowski right back on the bench, brother. They got young power forwards over there.
Right, but Keontae
didn't even play this game. We would have lost this game. We would have lost this game.
But I think the Cody Williams experiment will be over at the end of the season. They punted on Taylor Hendricks. They got some guys. They kept some guys. Let me say this the right way. When they got Ace Bailey, I think Danny Ainge kind of was like, okay, I can just get rid of everything. I don't have to rob people like I've been robbing people. So
hello, Memphis.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if he robbed them necessarily, but he had robbed so many people that I guess he felt like I give out reasonable deals to get these guys off the roster. But shout out to Jock Londale. We would not have won this game without him. I don't know if he's ever played a game of basketball better than this in his life. Thank you for doing what needed to be done. We truly appreciate it. Without you, none of this would be possible. And then, went up against a buzzsaw. We lost. The Atlanta Hawks lost to the Charlotte Hornets 119-126. The Hornets have won. Including this game, they won 9 in a row. Looks like they will probably lose tonight because they are in a punch fest with the Pistons. And like a bunch of people got kicked out of the game. But the Hornets are playing very good basketball, arguably the best basketball in the NBA right now. They're rebounding their ass off. And overall, they're just kind of finding their spot. Miles Bridges gave us 26 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Jesus. Moussa Diabate, 11 points, 15 rebounds, and a tussle with Okungwu, which is ironic because then he got into a fist fight tonight. Brandon Miller did not play great. 5 of 19, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. LaMelo Ball, I guess they're not going to bench him anymore at 19 points and 9 assists. And Con Kneppel, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Still in the conversation for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, this game was tough. We had many opportunities to seize this game. Yes, Con Kneppel is the guy he's probably going to end up being the guy. They have so many guys on this team with LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. And I think Brandon Miller probably could end up being the guy too. But Con Kneppel is shooting
No, this is a collection of guys. And they're all tall.
Yeah, cool. But Con Kneppel is shooting the cover off the ball, bro.
Oh,
he came in. I think he was like 4 for 4 in the first quarter from 3. And then he started to get to the rim in the second half. And by that time, we're double teaming him now. We're sending everybody to go help because Brandon Miller actually had a pretty rough game, 16 points on 19 shots. LaMelo didn't have a great game, but shout out to I guess you call him a wily vet now, is Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges figured out early that he is bigger than Ricochet and he's just as strong as Jalen and more athletic than Okungwu. He's difficult to guard for us. We don't have a 6'10" guy that can move the feet and stay with him. And he just put us in the paint. He was 1 of 4 for 3, and he was 9 of 10 for everywhere else.
Right.
So,
well, depending on who you are, the good news is he will probably be out a few games after the fist fight they just had. They also just murdered us on the boards. The Hornets are, I think, the best or one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA, specifically Musa Diabate giving us 15. They have 49 rebounds to our 30. We are
they had more offensive rebound. Just almost as many offensive rebounds as we did. They tripled us 16 to 5.
Correct. We already struggle on the boards, specifically on the offensive board, especially anybody outside of really Jalen Johnson and Okungwu on the days that he can get it done. But outside of that, we get kind of mashed on the boards. And I mean, this is still a game that really came down to the very end. The Hornets were they were in control and in the lead, but this game was mostly like back and forth. We had a chance to tie it up, and that's where you could kind of see where we kind of struggled. We had a chance to shoot it, and we passed it to Jalen Johnson. Johnson kind of passed it to Okungwu. And if you need a 3 or something like that, that's just not the time for that. You need a more dedicated guy. You got to run a better play. You got to execute it better. Those guys got to be confident, shoot the ball. We could have just handled it better. Then they had the worst thing happen. The clock fall down, it takes them 5 minutes, and we had already, for all intents and purposes, lost the game. I do appreciate
also post trade too.
Correct. I appreciate that we played really well against a team that has been playing the best basketball in the NBA. They didn't destroy us. We didn't get it done, but we hung with them for the vast majority of it. So, and I mean, hell, they gave the Pistons everything they wanted today. Charlotte's just a really good basketball team now. I don't know how long it'll last. I don't know why I don't trust it, but they're playing really good basketball right now. And if you watch basketball, you understand that they ain't no joke.
I don't know why you didn't play Mo Gay. I think Mo Gay's energy would have been interesting for this game,
especially against your boy
Diamante and
no Miles,
because he's 6 foot, because he's 6'10" and he can move with him. But you couldn't put this was post trade, so you have no Kuminga, you have no Buddy Hield, you have no Gabe Vincent. Even though I understand that they probably not gonna get a lot of minutes, that's still bodies. And then you didn't play Muhammad Gay or Koloko. And for whatever reason, you didn't do that. Maybe Muhammad Gay is still on that minutes restriction sometimes. If he had that back injury when he first got drafted, because we couldn't stop Diabate on. I think one time they ran like 4 minutes off the clock. I'm sorry, man. They got 4 straight possessions because they got
31 minutes out of Okungwu. I think was a little bit too much, considering this is the first game back after your face is broken. I would have liked some more Koloko minutes in there. I don't like how we're going completely away from Koloko either. Like, he has a unique skill that nobody else has. He is your traditional rim protecting defender. We don't have a ton of
Be your
that. So
Capella. He could be a Capella if you use him right.
very much so.
Again,
Very much
we've
so.
talked about this over and over with Quinn. Sometimes I don't understand some of these
Quinn has a lot of questionable lineups.
Rotations. These lineups, bro. I'd be like, it'd be the Charlotte would have 6'11, 6'10, 6'7, 6'8, 6'2, and we go 6'4, 6'2, 6'1.
Like, bro,
do you three guards?
Do you know what you do, Quinn? But this is the thing, and I'm gonna say this every week just to make sure that y'all all know. Quinn is not an Ansi Saleh guy. He is auditioning for his job. Whatever happens, I think this season, Ansi Saleh, his strategy has been, let's just put the best team on the floor. And I think this is a great transition right into the transactions. I just watched him meet with the press after the trade deadline, and he is committed to trying to put together the best team he can without mortgaging the future or selling picks. And not only selling picks, one of his main talking points was the Hawks kind of coming in asset poor and now having a full complement of picks to trade and guys to develop. So that's been his main focus. Winning is, I would consider, the secondary focus. We're not punting on this season because we don't control our draft picks. We're going to try to win, but not at the expense of getting rid of assets or even truly, because this gave Vince the trade specifically, just an opportunity to acquire better assets.
So you want to start with the big trade? Let's start with the big
trade. Bam. Oh, hold on. Kristaps Porzingis, Dingus Pingus, aka Big Pots, has been traded to the Golden State Warriors for Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield. Kristaps was an expiring 1 year, $30 million. Jonathan Kuminga is a team option for next year for another $24 million. Buddy Hield is this season, and I think he has like $3 million guaranteed next. Of course, out of these three assets, Kristaps Porzingis is by far the best player, but just never available. Jonathan Kuminga, while he is going through a knee thing, they do think that he will be available. I assume either post right after All-Star or by the beginning of March, and Buddy is available.
He's going to be reevaluated post All-Star was the news that came out.
I think he'll be ready post All-Star. This trade is interesting because Ansi Saleh was once a staff member for Golden State. He is very familiar with Jonathan Kuminga. In the press conference, he actually said Jonathan Kuminga will have a chance to compete, which means that I think that he believes that Jonathan Kuminga will compete. And I think that this is one of the things that the Hawks have been able to do since they've always maintained a relationship with Golden State is, hey, if you got a guy that doesn't work, we'll take him off your hands. And I'm interested to see what Kuminga brings to the Atlanta Hawks.
I don't know. I don't know. I am interested to see how he fits in. I don't know how he helps us in the immediate need that we had, which one of them was rebounding and rim protection, and the other one was ball handling, backup point guard. This kind of seemed more like, well, Golden State pivoted from Giannis, and there was nobody else to get it. And it was like, well, we could take expiring on Porzingis.
Terrible consolation prize, like the worst.
I didn't understand it because there's no draft capital involved. There's no draft capital involved on either side. So you would think if Kuminga does anything, if he just shows up and plays, that the Hawks have won this trade because Porzingis just can't play.
Correct. And that was the big I don't know if y'all watch or follow Famous Los, but that was his big thing was we traded a guy who we would not play for a guy who cannot play. And as far as the Kuminga intrigue, Kuminga gets downhill, goes to the bucket. We don't have nearly enough guys who do that. And he's a scorer. Tonight, we are getting torched right now, 71-98. We need a guy who can just go score some points. That is the thing that he can do. I think that's the reason that they picked him is we do have a lot of guys who are good role players, but we don't have a guy who really loves to kill outside in the kill. I think that they're gonna try to unleash Kuminga and see if he can be a killer.
He's wildly athletic. If this plays out how Ansi sees it in the way that he explained it, with the athleticism and being able to play Kuminga at the 3 and 4 and pair him with Jalen, and then Dyson and Nikhil, and you become, especially if he can cut, you become Jalen could average a lot. Pie in the sky, of course. But I just need him to be able to get downhill, and please, 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 Kyle Korver, work on his set shot. Because he's gonna be open, because people are going to have to respect his athleticism like they do Jalen. Jalen, teach him that little turnaround at the free throw from the elbow.
Also, this allows us to get CJ McCollum off the floor at the end of games. I love CJ McCollum when he's scoring. I do not like him getting torched by young basketball players like Isaiah Collier. You're not going to be able to treat Jonathan Kuminga and CJ the same. Like, Jonathan Kuminga is not a world beater defender. I'm not going to say that, but he's just physically more imposing. He's a better defender than CJ McCollum. And that closing lineup gets very interesting. Very interesting, because especially with, they both got kind of knee injuries, which is tricky between him and Ricochet, but you should be able to kind of close the game with whoever has been playing well, and Jalen Johnson.
Ricochet's shot can just get any type of consistency. You don't have to play Kispert. So now you have Ricochet, Dyson, Nikhil. I mean, you could put, at that point, depending on how you play, you could put Jalen at the 5. And you could run those 4. You could run 4 good perimeter defenders and shooters, but it all allows us. So yeah, you're right.
This allows us, number one, to get rid of a guy who's not healthy. Now we have a ton of depth and health for any reason. If somebody, whatever happens, we got a guy who we can put into every position. If we need a shooter, Buddy is there. If for any reason, especially with Ricochet being really the only 3, because they really think they want to play Kispert at the 2, which I get it. You want more size. Then you give Jonathan Kuminga more minutes at the 3. It gives us an opportunity. And this is a guy who could be a really good asset. And if it doesn't work, since it's a team option, we could punt at the end of the season. Or realistically, I think that we got him so we could probably increase his value and then trade him at the draft. Because if he plays well for the last 30 games of the season, then we go into the draft, especially with that 20th pick and Kuminga, I think we could talk some people into moving up. That's what he wants. He wants to play Ansi Saleh is like me. He won't play 2K. I'm telling y'all that right now. And that's the reason we flipped all of these people. Let's go right on to the next trade. This is when I figured out he was a 2K player. Luke Kennard, hey, you increased his value as high as you could get and traded him for Gabe Vincent. This is a great trade for the Lakers. They needed him. For us, we probably didn't even have a spot for Luke. Number one, they did him a solid. He wasn't going to be in the rotation. You get Gabe Vincent, who's also a point guard. So we do have like a legitimate point guard for any reason. If Dyson went down, we could still have another point guard to run point, I guess, probably secondary. And then we got 2 second-round picks. Y'all know we don't typically use those. We use 1 second-round pick. But we that's a trade sweetener. We trying to accumulate assets. So this was this trade was not for this season. It's a future-facing trade. We really wanted a second-round pick. We didn't have anywhere for Luke Kennard, and we did him a solid. Hopefully, when we need to go back to the Lakers, hey, we did y'all a solid. Do us one.
Better not. that management team ain't gonna be in place. But for me,
Rob Pelinka, I don't think that. I mean, fire Rob, sure.
For me, I don't. I didn't understand it at first because Luke was such a specialist at shooting threes. But it does give Kuminga a spot, and it seems like they would rather have a bigger player. Gabe Vincent, I didn't even think about him coming back as a backup point guard because he just didn't play really that role in LA because you don't really need it. And he's supposed to be able to shoot, so hopefully he can get his form back. But LeBron gave him that. I don't like him, and he first thing smoking out of there.
Also, a better defender. He's a better defender.
It created a trade exception
Correct.
somehow that we can use later on. I'm not going to get into the details of it because I don't want to misspeak, but it does create a trade exception or another tool that we could use later on to build out the roster in the way that Ansi wants to. I would love for Gabe to come in and hit the corner
not
three.
Gonna see the floor. He's not going to see the floor. What I'm saying is when we get the full complement of players, he ain't going to play.
I don't think so. I think he'll play more before Buddy. I think he'll play before Buddy Hield.
Neither one of them playing. Get comfortable.
I think Buddy Hield is not playing. Now, Quinn is notorious for playing 9-man rosters. 9-man rotations. So if you do that, then obviously Jack Longdale is the
that boy been crushing his name, boy.
He's obviously going to be the backup center. Like that's what he's going to be coming in 26 and 11 or whatever he did. So if you're going to do that now,
11 and 6 tonight while y'all playing, 4 offensive rebounds.
Talk about your job. So Okungwu, Ja, Jalen, Asa Mo, somewhere in there.
Great
Asa Mo,
crazy.
And then for the 3 is going to be Ricochet Kuminga. And then the 2 is going to be Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Kispert. And then the 1 is going to be CJ and Dyson.
Right.
So you assume that out of those 10, really 11, but I combined the 4. Out of those, Asa and Mo are the ones that's going to have to split the minutes and not really play. He's really just going to play a 9-man rotation with double centers and double forwards. That's what he's going to do.
Dyson and Gabe are, not Dyson.
They fighting. They fighting for real.
Oh, yes. I sent you that. You talking about the Pistons and the
No, I'm talking about Naz Reid and Mo Gay. Going at it for real. Or is that Julius Randle?
Yeah.
Mo
hey, man. The Sudanese strangler ain't playing with y'all. Y'all keep trying him like he chump. I told y'all he got into it with Musa Diabate. Oh, no, that was Okungwu. My bad. And we have the international team of international teams.
What?
But yeah, Gabe and Buddy is cool, whatever it's going to be. I assume that both of y'all probably will not be on the team next year. And this is mostly just a flyer for to see what you can get out of Kuminga. But Ansi being familiar with him, I think means that he knows something that nobody else knows. And then this is the full breakdown of additions, arrivals, and departures. Basically during the whole trade time. CJ, Corey, Kuminga, Buddy Hield, Jock Londale, 3 second-round picks, and we sent out Trey, who's shut down probably for the season, Kristaps, who knows when he's going to play again, Veet, and Luke Kennard. I think that if you look at it holistically, this is a hell of a flip.
If you look at it totally, especially next year, you may still have CJ McCollum. You'll have Corey Kispert. You'll have Jonathan Kuminga.
Maybe.
Maybe Kuminga, and you'll have the 3 second-round picks. Buddy, Jock, and Gabe, I think, are probably on the first things out of here. Not first things, but they're probably not going to be resigned. I think Buddy can be cut for $3 million. So
correct.
I think he's probably out of here too. So you basically flipped trade Kristaps for player-wise, Kuminga, Kispert, and McCollum. That's not bad because Kristaps doesn't play, and Trey, it was time to move on. And then getting Veet and Luke Kennard for basically 3 second-round picks.
Right.
As Ansi said, that is currency. That's how they look at picks as currency. and especially in the second round. That's a good. You're right. I had to talk my way through it. That's not a bad flip for Trey when they said you were going to have to give a draft pick for Trey. We're not in the Memphis Ja situation. Dang, they kicked Mo Gay out.
And this is the other part.
That's crazy.
Kristaps is probably going to have to. They're probably going to have to. He's going to probably have to retire. He can't.
Well, he's an expiring, so they get off Buddy Hield, they get off Kuminga, they get that headache out of there. So I mean, I get it.
But the other part of the Kristaps Porzingis thing was, hey man, can he play enough to make us good? I think that this is Kristaps Porzingis last year in the NBA. I don't think that the Pots allows him to. He can't do it. He can't.
He can't stand up.
He's physically unable. And it sucks because he has this illness. It's not like it's life-threatening. It just kind of kicks your ass every day. And then Trey, Achilles injuries, potentially lost some athleticism, and a $50 million player option. And like Reggie said, we're able to get rid of him, unlike Ja in Memphis. So this seems like it's not the sexy Giannis swap that everybody wanted, but this is fruits and vegetables. This is what I got to have some of these things to sustain me and to make my team incrementally better, because that's what he's trying to do. And once again, that's one of the things that Ansi said in the interview was, we are trying to make this team good and sustainable for many years to come, not trying to win this year. I appreciate that. As a, we ain't been above 500 in so long. Also, one more celebration here. Jalen Johnson, Eastern Conference Player of the Week, 27 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, and 1 steal per game. He is playing out of his mind. And remember, folks, he's getting paid $30 million a year for this year and the 4 years after that. This is the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh yeah, and you better believe I don't think he makes it to the end of that contract. I think he's gonna be right back here in 2 years. Like, hey, look, I have almost averaged a triple double. Let's go ahead and get this extension done now.
Oh, hold on, clear out. Thank you for reminding me, because all y'all that I didn't have to listen to talk about Trey for the last umpteen years. Oh, Trey averaged 25 and 10, 25 and 12. Y'all will never have a player that does that. Y'all never have a guy who will be that good. Y'all should be lucky to just have him. I don't care if y'all win games or not. Y'all should just be lucky to have a player who's good. Well, let me tell you, I'll take 27, 12, and 11 over 25 and 10 and a guy who plays defense and passes the ball on any day of the week.
The defense is similar, just he's taller. Offensive wise, he's taller. He has similar production as Trey.
He falls asleep.
He's a rebounder, but the defense wise, they are almost the same.
I do think that once we ask him to do a little bit less, the defensive floor will rise, and it just helps that he's 6'10", so you just can't pick and roll him to death.
I said the difference is just the height.
Yeah.
That's the production is the same. The difference is the height and the contract, which we will be back in 2 years, and he's going to be right. Then he's going to have to go up to 50. You're going to have to because if he keeps doing this,
probably pay him 50. He's 50. He's worth 50 Joker. Today.
He's behind Joker right now. So and that's not
crazy.
True,
Sneaky. That is not true. It's a lot of 6'5" that don't play defense. But it does help to be tall. And this is the tall man's game. I've been trying to tell y'all that for years. This is not the little man's NBA no more. That's unfortunate. I hate to say it. Y'all are now football players. Or you're getting a job. That's the two options you got. I didn't make it up. I did not make this up. But this is what it is. But shout out to Jalen Johnson. This kid is a phenom. And I love his dad at every game, supporting him, all of that. Now we're going to move on to trade season. I'm going to cover some of these. If y'all got other trades y'all want to talk about, because it went from all is quiet on the Western Front to Trade City. So I hit the big ones, or the ones that I thought were most important. If y'all want to talk any additions, I am also cool with that. But we are starting out with James Harden in a fair, even swap for Darius Garland. James Harden to the Cavs. Well, I mean, who was going to get the picks?
No, go ahead. That was going to be one of my interesting points about a lot of these trades.
Well, that's the other part about the second apron that I know y'all don't listen when I tell y'all about. Their picks are at a premium now. Young players on cheap contracts that can help you win games are going to be make or break for your success. James Harden, he has this year and a player option next year? Or is that a team option next year?
Player option. James Harden's a superstar. Team option on no team.
Let me check. Let me check this. But that's what. Wait. It's a player option, but it's not a fully guaranteed player option. It's something where he could go. With that, and then Darius Garland is 3 years, $126 million. They're basically getting paid about $40 million a piece. I think that this is a tricky trade. I think that it's good and bad on both sides. As my brother would say, it's a lot of hair on this deal. The reason that this deal is good right now for
that's funny coming from your brother.
The reason it's a good deal for Cleveland is James Harden today is more healthy than Darius Garland, and he's a better basketballer than Darius Garland. Even though he's 10 years older, he's still just better at this point than Darius Garland. The interesting situation with this is even after all these trades and all the moves that they made, they also traded DeAndre Hunter for Keon Ellis and Schroeder. They were not able to get under the second apron. So if they are over the second apron again next year at the trade deadline, that's when the boogeyman shows up. You can only trade players for matching salaries, and that pick will be frozen. That is not what they want. But this basically makes them win now. I don't understand how they could bring James Harden back next year and have a team. That is where I digress to Kobe Altman. If you can do that with what you got, congratulations. I think this is all chips in this year. There could very well be James Harden playing somewhere else, potentially Houston next year. And Darius Garland is the guy on the longer contract. He's the younger player, and his dad played for the Clippers. Scary thing about Darius Garland is he's had the same big toe injury now for over 12 months. And when something goes for over 12 months, I believe it to be a chronic injury, and that means it is typically there to stay.
Well, yeah. So we had been talking about for months, like, what is Cleveland going to do? This second apron is haunting, and they are at it. They are above it. And they not consolidated. They got off some contracts. Consolidated is the wrong word. They got off some contracts. They got Hunter out of there. And the next person to go was Darius Garland. I mean, 3 years, 126 with the second apron looming. They had to figure out a way to get off Darius Garland, but still try to be just as competitive to even have a conversation with Spider. So you have to figure out a way, and then lo and behold, shout out to the Clippers organization for never doing the right thing. Not say never doing the right thing, but for almost all my life. James Harden allegedly tried to talk about, hey, what's my future past this? And somehow he got traded to Cleveland, where he says he didn't request a trade, but allegedly, whatever. Somehow he ended up in Cleveland. So now he's your point guard, and they're hoping that he can be the 70. What they're hoping is he can be the 76ers, James Harden, where he got Maxey to blossom and he unlocked everybody else. And hopefully that's what he can do for Spider, who's already unlocked, but Evan Mobley. That's who you really want to try to.
And Jared Allen. They should be able to pick and roll rim run all day. And then whoever, if it's Jalen Tyson, I assume that they might play some Keon Ellis at the 3. That guy should be open. Just hit the shot. You got Schroeder, who's another good asset. They did get smaller. That concerns me a little bit. But
why? In the East, you always tell me who's the centers you have to worry about in the East.
No. I'm not talking about at center. I'm talking about wing and guard. Hunter was still of decent size. All of their guys now. Tyson. I mean, outside of Tyson, but everybody else is guard size. Keon Ellis is like 6'3", 6'4". Schroeder is like 6'1", 6'2". So whoever your backup, you're going to basically play 3-guard lineup if you're not playing Tyson. Now that helps that you got Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, but there's also, hey man, Tatum shows up. The boogeyman is here.
Tatum, they'd be foolish for Tatum to come back this year. But
they are third in the East. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, you don't want a setback. We've seen what happens when you have setbacks. You're right. Things with John Wall, so you don't want to have.
But even when they match up against somebody like us, what you gonna do? Like Reese Shea is 6'10", Kuminga is 6'9". Jalen Tyson got to take a break.
No, you don't.
Okay,
brother, you out there.
Isaiah Collier, 48 minutes. Cool. Hope you got an inhaler. This is kind of, these are risky moves for both teams. James Harden is committed to being committed to, and I respect that. Either we're going to have a contract before this trade deadline, or I'm going to somewhere where somebody will commit to me. Those are basically the things that he's requiring. Now, I don't know how this works because I'm going to do simple math for y'all. The cap next year is $166 million. Y'all follow me. Subtract $50 million. That's Derry. I mean, that's Spider Mitchell. Evan Mobley, that's 58. So you're already at 108. Allen is $20 million, and then James Harden is going to want $40 million. I don't know how they stay out of the second apron, but good luck and Godspeed.
Hopefully, what the best thing for them to do, I could see, was to do a sign and trade with James Harden. Yeah, get some draft capital. Fred VanVleet is $44 million, ain't he?
No, remember he took that deal. He knew it was going up, and he said, if I ask for money, they're gonna send me home. If I take a pay cut, I can stay around here.
Oh yeah, 2 years. So he's at 25. Yeah, so you get rid of Harden, you can turn Harden into 2 players, right? By trading him to Houston. You can get
one. You gotta get some, and I don't know if Houston, yeah.
You have to give me VanVleet and something. Tari Eason maybe. Because Jabari's balling now.
But you have to get rid of actual salary.
No.
Cleveland, it's tight. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, if you over, and you might turn 2 players, but you can't you can't swap 40 for 40. You still got to get rid of some of that money. But that ain't my problem. I told y'all that this
Mitchell, you are a Brooklyn Net.
And while you playing
that team, me tell you,
the Nets keep on picking them up. Igor Shulman, Michael Porter Jr., they're going to have a top 3 pick. Hey, man.
But it's going to look good for this 30 games, because the first game, James Harden came in 25, 8, whatever he did.
Tough times don't last. Tough people do. But I don't know what to tell y'all, man. Good luck with that. I don't know how this works out in the best of ways for you guys. But let's be real here. Cleveland is just kicking the can down, and I don't know if they have a plan. And I'm glad that it's not my team.
corporate jargon. I can help you with that. The plan is evolving. It's a working plan. That's what that is.
We will
Working
circle
plan.
back. We will circle back once the season is over. We will reevaluate, and then we'll come up with a new plan from there. You are correct. We can do that in a Zoom meeting. Hold on. Okay. Next up, we're gonna go right to bam. This is a very interesting trade. Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, 2 first-round picks, 1 second-round pick for Ivica Zubac and Kobe Brown. Now, Benedict Mathurin is very interesting to me. This is a trial run with him. He isn't expiring, but I think that even though the Clippers have positioned themselves as saying that, hey, we do not want bad contracts going forward, I think that there is a world where Benedict Mathurin could come back. I told y'all I would be more than happy to have him in Atlanta. He wants to be paid. I think you could probably get him for $20-25 million. And I want to say, if you got Darius Garland healthy at the 1, Benedict Mathurin healthy at the 2, Kawhi Leonard healthy at the 3, John Collins healthy at the 4, and they have the first round pick that they got from the Indiana Pacers, which I think that's the trade that they stole from the Pelicans, if I remember correctly, last year, right before the finals. That first round pick is protected 1-4 and 10-30. And I know y'all are like, what the hell does that mean? Because that's the same thing I said. But what actually happens is if it's 1-4, Pacers like, you can't have those guys. That's basically Darren Peterson, Boozer, AJ DeMonta, or Kingston Fleming, I guess, is probably the guy. But that pick was too good to pass on. Or maybe Caleb Wilson from UNC. But that pick they weren't going to do. But if it falls 5-9, there's still a bunch of good guys there who are going to be available that the Clippers could get. That's what they really need to happen. And then if it falls 10-30, they were like, we out. It will turn into a 2029 pick, because if you end up drafting a guy, the Pacers are going to be good. That pick is going to be terrible. So the best thing you can do at that point is punt and get it later. It's an interesting strategy, to say the least. And they need the ping pong balls to fly the right way. Now, as far as the Pacers go, you got your guy, Miles Turner. Y'all remember him? Kev, I know me and you have talked specifically. I said, Miles Turner, you was right where they were going to pay you to stay there, and then you ran your mouth and got right on out of there. Now you're a terrible contract on a terrible team.
They weren't going to pay him what Milwaukee was going to pay him, were they?
No, but he's not going to play any competitive basketball either.
Oh, that was the Carmelo Anthony decision.
And I think
you make those decisions for the money. Yeah,
I think they were going to pay him because they almost had to pay him. They would have probably had to sacrifice one more of the Neesmith, Nembhard, Ben Shepherd crew so that you could pay Miles, because he got you there. But he took that out of the way for him and went to Milwaukee. They got Jay Huff, who now will be a fantastic backup next year, who can space the floor, and they got Ivica Zubac. It's a slam dunk. Now, especially if that pick doesn't convey. If they're able to get like Darren Peterson and have Zubac, oh my God.
Well, this pick probably, they're going to tank. So what this does,
you still need the ping pong ball to go your way, though.
There was a lot of things you said there. It was, I'll go back to the Clippers later, because the real thing is about the Pacers here. The Pacers would have paid Miles Turner if Halliburton doesn't tear his Achilles. If Halliburton doesn't tear his Achilles, then it's almost the same team coming back. And but now Halliburton's out. Miles Turner wants a bunch of money. Well, no, he's going to be out for a year. Let's see what we can do. And this is a generational draft coming up. So what we're going to do is see if we can then move our way up. By getting Zubac, you get the Pacers without Miles Turner were in the same position as the Hawks. They needed a big dude. They needed size. They needed size and weight in the paint. And by getting Zubac, who is a good rebounder, he can finish at the rim with both hands. He is really, really good offensively. That gives him the
all-star level big.
That gives you the inside offensive scoring that they really were desperately missing against the Thunder. And they went to game 7. So now Halliburton comes back healthy. Zubac is here. You do lose Benedict Mathurin, but again, you got Nesmith, Ben Shepherd's hitting threes. You have other players, and then you still have that pick to subsidize losing Mathurin. I'm fine with it. And that, like you said, that second round pick for the Clippers ain't gonna be great anyway, because you expect Indiana to be a top 4 team next year. So depending on what else happens, but as presently constructed. So this is great for them. I don't know who Kobe Brown is. I don't know if that was just a throw in. I don't really know. I like Isaiah Jackson. Isaiah Jackson is a very underrated role playing big. He hustles. He's a rim protector, and he don't shoot. He just dunk. So if that's what you need, that's what you need. I don't see what the Clippers are gonna. I see the Clippers getting younger. So if you talk about the Clippers, they've added your boy from Cleveland, Darius Garland, and his dead toe. Then you got Benedict Mathurin. That's not a bad 1-2. And Kawhi is having the best year in his Clippers tenure.
All-star level basketball
this year. So you're surrounding Kawhi, which is what they basically are doing. They're surrounding Kawhi with a bunch of young players to be able to try to make a run next year. While that's good in discussion, it's the Clippers. You're going to have to show me. You have to show me it's going to work. But if you keep John Collins, the Clippers should be in the market for a center. They should try to find one. They got a point guard. They got bench scoring. They got a stretch bigs. They have what's your boy that can jump and dunk and hustle? Deshaun Marion type.
Jones Jr.
The
Jones thing that Jr. the Clippers trying to do, Clippers are not taking any bad contracts. They trying to get their money straight. Like the CBA forces you to be fiscally responsible with your money. You can't be the Golden State Warriors of old and just say we'll pay through the nose in the tax. That's what a lot of these teams. That's what Cleveland was set up to do. I just pay what it costs. Clippers, Steve Ballmer, I'm the richest man in the world. What is money to me? Say it's a vehicle to do whatever I want to. Clearly, but with the way that the CBA is set up, you can't do that anymore. So you have to actually fix your books in a way that you can still be a viable team. So yeah, you're right. I could probably pay Benedict Mathurin $20 million a year. I can probably pay John Collins $20 million a year. Now my 2 big contracts are Darius Garland, who, if healthy, is going to be a decent contract. He's a decent contract at $40 million if he's healthy. He's an all-star level basketball player. And then Kawhi Leonard. Now, I did hear that there were people, you got to just get back to, number one, they started out terrible, and their money is bad. You got to fix your money so you can fix your team. I also heard that they were asking about Kawhi Leonard. I would have traded Kawhi Leonard.
Who is asking about Kawhi Leonard?
There are multiple. They're not going to say now because the trade deadline is over. There are multiple teams that inquired about Kawhi Leonard, and I get it. He's playing great basketball, and especially the way that things are kind of shaking out now with OKC looking way more reasonable as a basketball team, and then also the floor rising on the Spurs. Yeah, I could very well see, hey man, if I get Kawhi, I could possibly get into this.
Yeah. one, Darius Garland probably won't make another All-Star in the West. I don't see that happening. And then two, so that's a lot of money for a non-All-Star.
$40 million
Two,
is reasonable.
cool. Two, what did sure they had people asking for Kawhi. It depends on what they were asking in return. Right. If you were one, I'm sure they wanted more than 2 first round picks, been in 2 players. So I don't know if a team with the second apron, with all that money, also with the scandal looming over that, all of that stuff, I don't know if a team would be willing to pay all of that for
I
Kawhi.
think that the biggest thing
if that's the truth, then Milwaukee should have been there.
I
Kawhi and
think
Giannis.
I think the scandal was the reason that there was no trade, because if you trade him, Uncle Dennis could go wild on you. So I'm not gonna go do anything. Right now, they're co-defendants. I can't put him on another team. Then we ain't got that. We had no trust. Then he don't owe me nothing. I don't owe him nothing.
Milwaukee,
So
monitor the situation.
Monitor what? It's over, Milwaukee. Y'all, you and Giannis are the only people who don't know that. Y'all keep putting this rinky-dink team out here. Y'all have run the worst player of anybody. Milwaukee. It's nothing there. The dream has turned into a nightmare. Only thing that you can look back on is go in that trophy room and look at that trophy. That's all you're going to have for a very long time.
All right, let's get to the rest of these trades. We got a long way to go for this pod. We are an hour and 15 in.
Hey man, trade deadline Super Bowl. This is what you get. Anthony Davis is now a Washington Wizard.
Reluctantly.
Yes. Alleged. Well, I mean, I get to the trade.
Alleged.
Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, who apparently has said he will not be reporting to Washington. And I don't blame him. He said he wasn't going. And I don't blame him. But that means you're probably going to Shanghai. Dante Exum. And in return, the Mavericks got Chris Middleton, Malachi Branham, AJ Johnson, Marvin Bagley, 2 first-round picks, and 3 seconds. This is a lot. Number one, Anthony Davis shut down, we presume, for the rest of the season. They are going to tank because the Wizards they have the first-round pick. And if it's not a top 10 pick, then it goes to the Knicks. They're not going to let that happen. So Trey will probably not be seen this year, and Anthony Davis will probably not be seen this year. I think that they said earlier last week they rolled out a roster. Total compensation for that roster was $8 million. That is embarrassing in the NBA. That's damn near impossible. But they found a way to do it. D'Angelo Russell, I don't blame you for not going to Washington. It's a waste of time. There's nothing you can do to rehab your image. I just don't know of any team that will be interested in you on the buyout market, as it has also been very quiet for Chris Paul. I don't really know. This is a good move for Dallas because they get the stench of AD off of them. Now, the Anthony Davis experiment in Dallas is embarrassing, but at least it's over. Chris Middleton should be a solid expiring contract. If it doesn't go, you could always buy him out. But I don't have any issues with him playing, especially y'all trying to win too. And you could, he's still a decent basketball player. He's kind of like a less healthy CJ McCollum to me. He can still hoop a little bit. AJ Johnson is a cool flyer on a decent sized point guard that I like. Super athletic guy who needs some development. You are now with Jason Kidd, the developer of point guards. And please don't ask him about Cooper Flag playing point guard. He will take that as disrespect. Marvin Bagley, solid throw in. I really, this is a guy who I wouldn't mind being on the Atlanta Hawks. He is tall. He is reasonably gifted. And then you get 2 firsts, 3 seconds. Wizards, I don't know what the hell y'all are doing.
So yeah, AD already. I think the Wizards lost this trade because AD has already come out and said that I want a contract extension or I want to be traded. In so many words, I'm paraphrasing. He basically said, "I'm going to wait and see. I'm ready to play for a championship, so I'm trying to see what y'all are doing
Delusion.
before."
Delulu.
And he wants a max
Dehulu.
contract.
A
A
Fulu.
max. He wants a max contract. So I don't.
You get a
Along with
Big Mac
Trey,
before he get a max contract. You smoking dope,
you gonna
brother.
have Trey. You gonna have Trey, who's gonna want a max or close to it, 45. What? Well, that's not close to it.
Wait,
He's
wait, wait,
gonna
wait,
want
wait, 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 wait.
40.
Hold on. We ain't got to get to the max. He got a $50 million player option next year. Anthony Davis
is 50 million player option. So then you have that, and then you still have. I mean, Sarr is going to be in his third year next year or fourth, third or fourth year. So you don't really want to get to your fourth year without at least discussing the contract extension. And he plays well enough.
He's your only long-standing asset. No, he is the elder statesman on this team. He is the big chip. You think you're gonna pay Anthony Davis more than me? Hell no.
Okay, well then you got to pay him. Then you still have next year. I don't see the path for what they're doing next year. I see the path going forward after next year because you could. I'm assuming you're not going to sign AD. I'm assuming you're going to have to negotiate with Trey, but you have the long ball shooter. You have Sarr. You have those two young dudes there. I can see
Bilal Coulibaly. You got some like
yeah. And the dude that I wanted on Atlanta in the trade that we didn't get, the 6'10" dude,
Keyshawn George. You got the other.
Riley?
You got the other. Yeah, Will Riley. You got some pieces, but
that's the young. So I see 27.
I don't.
What's it, 26? I see 28. I don't see what y'all doing 26, 27, and I don't. AD has already for everything that y'all don't take people at their word for. You would take AD's word that he don't want to be in Washington. I can guarantee you he don't want to be there. Now trade you can whatever you want. I don't see what they're doing, but I see what Dallas did. I think AJ Johnson with Jason Kidd is one thing. AJ Johnson, if you watch how he plays, he's very shifty and he can shoot off the dribble. Who do you like that you can learn up under there? God Sham God. Who else could you learn up under there? Kyrie Irving. So you got
Jason Kidd,
God Sham God, and Kyrie, who is in a mentorship role as Kyrie has mentored Cooper Flagg, and you see what he's been doing the last 10 games. So you have that there. Then you get off of the Middleton contract. You get 2 future firsts and 3 future seconds. I don't know what Marvin Bagley's contract is, but he's at least a filler for the time. And they kept Gafford. They still have Derek Lively. They're not badly built. I see the plan for them. I don't.
Yeah, there is a much clearer plan in Dallas. Because this is the thing about Washington is you guys are going to be terrible. Then next year, you have to be good. Like immediately. You got to be good. Because it's got to work. Like you have to go from like no chemistry to super chemistry and your money's still funny. Like I've said this with the CBA, you can be rich as a player or you can be competitive as a player, but it's going to be very difficult for you to be both. And Anthony Davis and Trae Young, if you want your money, you're probably going to be in Washington. If you want to play competitive basketball, you're going to have to take a pay cut. I think, Trae, if you're wise, the closer you get to $30 million, the better team you can play on. I think the bare minimum $40 million. That's your max, and it needs to be flat. Anthony Davis, you need to be at like $30 million. And I would not pay Anthony Davis $30 million a year. I would not give him a 3-year, $30 million extension because you don't know how many games. You do know how many games he's going to play. They say he's been on the injury report 258 times or something in his career. Hell no, I'm not paying you. And you go play for Shanghai Sharks too. Wizards are in a weird place, but they also are not like getting people into their facility. So I think they just want to have a reason for people to go watch basketball games. And Trey and AD and Alexander Sarr will definitely do that.
A lot of lobs, a lot of rim protection.
Somebody gonna get fired. Now that AD's been traded, we can look at the complete haul that they got for Luka. Max Christie, I think, which is a solid asset. Chris Middleton, expiring contract. I think that's a negative.
Positive.
AJ Johnson. I don't think that getting Chris. I don't think that Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton is a positive for the AD trade. I don't think he's a positive trade for Luka Doncic. AJ Johnson is a flyer. I put a question mark beside that. Malachi Branham, I take that as a negative. Marvin Bagley, I take that as a negative. This OKC pick is negligible. It's a good draft, but we assume it to be 30 or 29. A Phoenix second round pick this year. Who knows what that'll be? It'll be okay-ish. Chicago second next year. The last thing anybody gonna care about is Chicago Bulls second round pick. Lakers 29 pick. Still not gonna be a good pick. I don't think that they're gonna ever allow Luka to have a bad team around him. And a Houston second, and then a Golden State Warriors first in 2030. That's probably got all types of protections on it because by then everybody will have been retired. It's a lot of bullshit. Let's be real here.
A lot of fodder. I think AJ Johnson's a positive. Max Christie's a positive. I didn't think the positive was there wasn't a positive on the AD trade. I didn't understand it. So getting off AD, I'm gonna put all of that in this trade. You turned it into
a trail mix of bullshit.
I mean, if it would have been like a Chicago first or a Phoenix first, even then you would have got 3 first-round picks, and you would have gotten maybe a couple players that you could have added to buy. Oh, you got Cooper Flag. Well, no, you didn't get that in the trade.
You did not. That's what they be trying to do. Is smooth that over, right? Oh well, we got Cooper Flag. The hell you did. You could have had Cooper and Luka.
But you weren't going to have Cooper and Luka. They were there again. Conspiracy, but we won't get there. You're gonna have those players. You're very young. They got very, very young, and they're still looking for whatever they're gonna be able to do in the lottery, which I'm assuming is this year, because they're gonna be in the lottery, right? They didn't trade away their first.
Will they be in the lottery? Probably, maybe. I don't think they're gonna be that bad.
Right now, they're 12th.
Oh, lottery it is. Lotto it is.
Yeah, they're battling the
Do they have a pick this year though?
The tanking teams. Yeah, I don't think they traded their pick for anything. I don't think they traded Luka and a pick. I think they got AD and a pick.
Let me look here. I can tell you right now. Let me go to Tankathon. And for all you basketball sickos, if you really need to go look at something, Tankathon is a great place to go look. They do the draft simulator, lottery simulator, all of that. Dallas now slated to have a 7th pick. Yes, correct.
Yeah, so you could probably get a big. I mean, you're hoping to get your franchise cornerstone or your Scottie Pippen to go along with Cooper Flag in this draft.
Yeah, I'll be looking for a wing,
which you can do. You can do it. Yeah, you need a 2. You need a 2 or 4. You need a 2 or 3. You need a 2-3.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's a 4. He's a legit 4.
Yeah.
So you need a 2-3.
You got Lively. I think he's going to be your starting guy. Yeah, I would definitely be And hey,
it
man,
can happen. I mean, you never know.
y'all,
Darren Peterson could fall.
no,
You can trade up.
No, you're not. No, you're not gonna get. What I was gonna say is this is the reason that you collect a guy like Jonathan Kuminga. He could go play in Dallas. Dallas probably don't have a way to get a guy.
Give me the 7th. Give you my 20th and Kuminga for the 7th.
Gafford.
Straight up.
Some razzle dazzle in there. We both got pieces to dance. You give me that center. You already got Lively. You got to backfill it, figure it out.
You're gonna have to give me.
No, Gafford. They're probably pretty close, 24? Honestly.
That's crazy. Because that's crazy. If Gafford makes 24, no way he makes 24.
He just got signed. It's probably like 16-ish. They just signed him to a new deal.
17.
What I tell you, I be knowing these contracts like the inside backwards and forwards.
25. So $8 million difference. They could probably absorb that $8 million or give me AJ Johnson.
Right.
Daniel Gafford, AJ Johnson, and a 2nd-round pick for Kuminga. I would do that.
Yeah. It'll end up being probably like a Najee Marshall, Caleb Martin type of guy. I don't either, but that's what it ain't a lot to dance with over there either. But I'm just saying that would be great for them. Kuminga, Cooper Flag, Kyrie, and Derek Lively, and then you start your rebuild, and then you still got the 7th pick. You're right. You can get a 2nd, and then that could be your team right there. Kyrie, draft pick, Kuminga, Cooper Flag, Derek Lively. And then at least people forget that you traded Luka.
No. You gotta make it to the finals before they forget that.
I mean, but at least okay. I was being facetious. What I'm really saying is, you could at least have a fan base that doesn't hate you anymore.
We'll see.
Now we are going to move on. Jarren Jackson Jr. was traded from the Memphis Grizzlies with John Conchar, Vince Williams, Jock Landale, who is now in Atlanta Hawks. Right. For Kyle Anderson, George Niang, Taylor Hendricks, Walter Clayton Jr., 3 first-round picks. Memphis is in a rebuild, clearly. And Utah is going to finally play competitive basketball next year. John Conchar is kind of a solid throw-in, but he won't make it once Walker Kessler's back. They already got a bunch of bigs over there. Vince Williams, he may or may not make it. Jock Landale is already an Atlanta Hawk. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo, toast. George Niang, minivan, toast. Taylor Hendrickson, failed experiment. Somebody else will kick the tires on that because he really didn't get a good chance in Utah after he had that devastating ankle knee injury. He's kind of toast. Walter Clayton Jr., fantastic bench addition. And then 3 first-round picks, Cleveland, LA, and Phoenix. And, future-facing Cleveland, you don't know what Spider Mitchell's going to do. And if he gets out of there, then he gets spooky real quick. The Lakers, I think it's probably going to be a mediocre pick. I can't imagine there's a world where they don't continuously put players around Luka where he can at least be competitive. And then Phoenix, 2031, just 2026. Devin Booker's old by then, ain't he?
He's like 27. He's been in the league for 10 years. He's been in the league for like 10 years. So he's like 20. He was 17 in college. So he's like 28. So 31. He's like 31. His game is KD like. He can tailor his game to be mid-range assassin for another 7-8 years if you need.
You're right. 29. He'd be 35.
Yeah. 34. He just won't be the. He won't be the focal.
If you're gonna do it, that's the time, right? And God, he might not even be a Phoenix Sun no more by then. But yeah, I think that this is a good start for Memphis. I think that this is what Danny Ainge has been crafting for a long time. He has built this team patiently. You know he's not going to get any free agents to come.
Built this algorithm brick by brick.
And now I think that they have I hate that they lost Walter Clayton Jr. I really like him. And I ain't going to lie, Memphis has let me start with Memphis. They have an infrastructure. You got Cowherd, who's been playing really good. You got G.G. Jackson, who's been playing pretty well. They got one more. I can't think of the name. I know Kevin will help me out with that. And you got Zach Edey. You got Walter Clayton Jr., who come off the bench and be a solid basketball player. You have
forgot about Zach Edey.
They'll have enough. And then 3 first-round picks. The big thing in Memphis, though, is what happens with Ja. Potentially, you may have to use one. Potentially, I mean, they're going to eventually have to end the Ja thing. The concern is do you have to send a first-round pick, to get Ja out of there?
I would hope not. They got Ty Jerome, Jalen Wells, G.G. Jackson.
That's who I could not remember. Jalen Wells.
Jalen Wells, nice. They got KCP on the bench. Taylor Hendricks now.
Toast.
They need. And they got Edey, who's hurt. I mean, you got Walter Clayton could probably take. All them dudes. Scottie Pippen Jr., Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Anderson. Y'all all going. Cam Spencer. I don't know who you are. Walter Clayton Jr., you're there. Salty Aldama probably stays.
You need a legit point guard, like
point guard in the center, and you put Ty Jerome on the bench.
Well, when Edey comes back, he's your center. Then you have Jalen Wells, G.G. Jackson, and Cowherd. That's such a good, solid group right there. If you can get a legitimate point guard, then you're back in it.
A point guard, and then is G.G. Jackson a legit power forward, or can you put him on the bench at the 3? Depending on their record, Cam Boozer here probably looks decent.
He ain't gonna get to Cam Boozer. I mean, best thing that I think, best case scenario is like the Caleb Wilson kid. Well, I don't know.
Is 11th, and you assume Utah is going to be they're not going to play Ja anymore.
Memphis has a 26.3% chance of getting a top 4 pick. So it's as legit. I mean, there's a 75% chance they not in the top 4, and you ain't getting Boozer if you're not top 4. I mean, it's a 75% chance you will not have a pick that will be available for Boozer. You should be looking at other guys. But that Caleb Wilson, he would be very good, and he can shoot. Yeah. And then you just got, the G.G. Jackson, Jalen Wells thing. All right, we figured that out. One of y'all going to start. One of y'all going to come off the bench. Y'all both going to play. And neither one of you are good enough to demand, hey, I got to be on the floor.
You got to get off Ja. However you get off Ja in that kind, you got to figure that out. I was
going to say, once you get off Ja, teams are going to be divesting. I keep telling you, Cavs got to get under that. Knicks is expensive too. Hey, what can I get? Let me get it.
I would be looking at Boston, Orlando. I wouldn't say Boston. Orlando is a place Ja could go. You could get
in Chicago. Got 75 guards.
Chicago, get one of them. You could go there. You could go get and get somebody. Jaden Ivey would be a great addition, but I don't think they're gonna let him go. But I mean, he's Ja. Him and Ja are very similar athleticism wise. So I mean, you could figure that out and get your point guard, and now you just adding depth in the draft, which you could do. These teams actually, looking at these trades, weren't that bad.
You know, I don't know what exactly the Blazers gonna do, but they have
100 centers.
No, they got Denny Avdija, he's basically playing point guard. Dame will be back next year. Drew Holiday, Scoot, and they got Shaden Sharp as a 2, but I mean, there's not enough minutes for all the guards to play. I'll definitely be calling on a flyer for Scoot. I'll just take him. You can't play him.
Yeah, he played pretty well. Yeah. So overall, the Jazz, even though they are actively tanking, and that's what we were talking about earlier, that I was trying to circle back to, they are going to have to figure out, the NBA is, how to prevent over tanking. I'm not against tanking per se, right? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But you having healthy players in a league going into the fourth quarter in 2 games in a row, and then you just sit everybody. Jarren Jackson
Well,
Jr. played well, and it's like, I'm just gonna sit the whole. And it's not like they faking an injury or nothing. They just in your face like, we are tanking, and there's nothing you can do about it. That is a little crazy to me.
well, this is the thing. The new CBA has changed. Has changed the way the teams are like figuring everything out right now. So I think you have an excess of tanking at this very moment because teams are like, oh, I got to get out of this before I get trapped. Because you got to think about it. Pacers not going to be tanking next year. Wizards not going to be tanking next year. I don't know what the Nets are going to do. The Bucks, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think the Bulls are going to be tanking because they're not just going to waste Josh Giddey. The Hornets for sure will not be tanking. The Hawks not going to tank. The Heat don't tank. So if you look at the East, there's not really anybody. Now the West, the Kings, that's really it. Pelicans not going to be trying to tank next year. They're going to have their full complement of players, and Joe Dumont's got to look like something. So it's really just a reset of a bunch of teams trying to figure out the second apron. I don't think that it's a long-term issue. Another kind of sneaky big trade to me, Ayo Dosunmu to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Rob Dillingham, Leonard Miller, and 4 future seconds. Now, this is a tank job, but a terrible tank job. First of all, Ayo Dosunmu is a perfect addition to Minnesota. There is a lineup now of Ayo, Ant-Man, what's my man playing the 3, the defender.
McDaniels.
I can't. Yes, Jay McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert. A lockdown defense in games. Rob Dillingham was a project that I was always questionable about. He's basically Jamal Crawford. He is not your standard facilitated point guard. He's just a bucket. Leonard Miller is a project, and then 4 second-round picks is just throw in. This is the Bulls are one of the worst run organizations in sports. They're right up there with the Browns, and just being terrible at terrible asset management, because you've had good players, just haven't done anything with them.
This trade, I like how Minnesota revamped their backcourt. So they went from Mike Conley Jr., who is back, ironically, through the twists and fates of the trade deadline streets. But they went from Mike Conley Jr. and
Dante
DiVincenzo to now Bones Highland and Ayo Dosunmu as your starting 1 and 2. That is not bad. Or really Ayo Dosunmu, I guess. But they let Bones run a whole lot of 1. So it's really Bones and then bring Ayo off the bench. But that is not bad.
I think that changes long term.
That is not bad because Bones is a player that has to play to get into rhythm. And him coming from so deep off the bench wasn't going to happen. You also got rid of Mike Conley and brought him back on a cheaper contract, I'm assuming. And he's now on his proper place on the depth chart at the bottom. And he's just going to be a mentor, Coach Conley. So I think they got a lot better, like you said, defensively. But Bones is a shooter, and he's a gunner, and he could come in. He's taking pressure off Ant offensively, while Dosunmu is taking pressure off Ant perimeter wise defensively. That is the perfect addition to build around Ant.
I guess you probably got to keep DiVincenzo as a starter just because if you put DiVincenzo and Bones Highland out there, Jalen Clark and Naz Reid, they won't stop. They wouldn't stop a nose. They won't stop not nosebleed, not nothing. So yeah, I guess you probably keep Ayo on the bench, and then I would probably be closing games with Ayo and Jaden, Julius.
Well, you got versatility to do either one. Now you can, and now you got shooting, you got defense. You can pair. You could play Ayo at the 1 and bring in DiVincenzo and Bones if you want to shoot, and put Ant and Jaden. If you want to go small, you can bring Nas in. You got a lot, and then you still got Stifle Tower, who I watched today just stand in the middle of the paint and block everything. So I mean, you have the ability to be versatile, which is what
don't forget.
You got depth.
They got Johan Berenger over there, the other Frenchman who's 6'11", 230 pounds, and I think that it would be very wise for them to start developing him now, because him and Nas Reid could play together. Oh no. The Timberwolves, they got Rudy Part 2 this year in the draft. 6'11", 230.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, I mean, they've built – all these teams have tried to figure out a way to dodge the second apron, have future-facing assets, as you like to say, as well as stay competitive. Because, I mean, Minnesota is 6th, and I'm telling you now, I think they're going to catch the Lakers. And they may catch Houston.
Hey, Nuggets. Hey, man, it depends. It depends on the day.
Yeah, I mean,
but once they were able to save themselves, because a part of this that I don't think everybody took into consideration was Giannis basically ruined Golden State's free agency. I mean, not free agency, trade deadline. He ruined Miami's trade deadline. He ruined the Bucks trade deadline, almost ruined the Timberwolves. Everybody was in on Giannis, and then he makes no moves and ruins it for everybody. The Heat down bad.
Conspiracy, and then and announced. We can go to that next. Announced that I'm in a sports different type of betting, predictive index betting, which is Israel. We won't get into all that, but now. Oh, well, and then of course the non-trades was Giannis and Morant. We talked about Ja. Ja sabotaged himself. I don't really have much to say about that. Giannis is crazy. The Bucks are stupid. I don't see how they're old-ish. I mean, Giannis still running the young guys on the team, theoretically.
His team is built incredibly stupid.
I don't see what they're gonna do. I don't see what taking this to the summer is gonna do, unless you're gonna take the approach of, as you say, teams are gonna be dodging the second apron. So now I'm gonna go and see who I can put around Giannis and the young point guard. Maybe that's it, but that's a risky.
And don't forget, the ghost of Dame is still over there for 4 more years at $20 million a year. Great job. You should really incorporate that Miles Turner in there, because that's the only reason they got Miles Turner, is because they lost Dame. This is complete and utter asset mismanagement, clownery, buffoonery, and Giannis being passive aggressive is making it worse. Nobody will get out of anybody's way over there. The only asset you got over there, he's the only asset is Ryan Rollins, and you can't let him walk.
That's all you got. And Kevin Porter Jr., but Giannis like him. So unless he decides somebody's just gonna go pay him, you got Cam Thomas that you signed, which is okay because he can. He ain't gonna do nothing.
It's a great move. Just shoot.
He can shoot. He can shoot all day. Was what you need. Bobby Portis is old. Gary Harris is old. I don't know.
Bobby Portis low key playing his ass off, and he's like top 10 and top 10 and not 10 at 3-point per shooting. He's actually
not good. Now another year older. One old kick in the paint. Ain't no gradual. I can just jump shot my way out. Nah, bro. Especially on this team, Giannis gonna have to do everything. And then you got Gary Trent Jr., which I'm assuming he's gonna be gone, and you still got Kyle Kuzma and the ghost of Dame, which is
Kuz probably out of there. Yeah, that.
So I mean, you
got
they
did it to themselves
again.
They did it to themselves
around with Doc at coach. So you gonna rebuild. This is what Atlanta avoided. Atlanta traded Trey instead of trying to rebuild for a fourth time. This is the third time. Third rebuild around Giannis. They got him, they built, they added him in. It didn't work out because he wasn't ready. He took over the team. They built around him. They didn't make it. Took over. They added players. He won the championship. They added Dame. They tried to rebuild again. Yeah, it's the fourth rebuild. They didn't get rid of Giannis, so now you're going to have to try to patchwork all of this with Giannis, who still has to be paid. I think he has one more year in his contract.
And this is the part where y'all laugh at me all the time. Y'all call me Norwood 2K. Y'all say Norwood want to trade somebody all the time. This is the reason. Because if you don't divest when an asset is at its peak, you will find yourself in a world of hurt. And instead of trading Giannis and saying, okay, well, we can't build a team around him anymore. Let's get him somewhere else and let's get a truckload of assets. You let him have 2 non-contact injuries. He's 31 now. I think he'll be 32 before the start of the next season. And people know you over a barrel. What you gonna do? You're not negotiating from a place of strength anymore.
I agree to a certain extent, but I also have the thought of you just got to be intentional with what you're going to do. Y'all got to stop letting these players try to bully y'all into doing and saying, well, go. The whole thing is messed up because of Giannis. Y'all listen to Giannis. You went and got Dame. You went and fired the coach. You went and moved all of these players around because of Giannis. If you had just been intentional, whatever it is going to be, your philosophy was be intentional, go ahead and trade and divest. Cool. Somebody else's philosophy could be intentional. I'm going to build around you right now, and I'm going to move this right now. This roster ain't working right now. But they didn't do anything. They stayed dead in the middle.
Right. And that's
the part where they messed up.
That's where I get called cold a lot, because I know that most of the people who love sports are emotionally involved. These are assets and liabilities. And if you look at players like assets and liabilities, then I have to make sure I manage this asset before it becomes a liability. Because now, I mean, there'll be a new market once the season is over. Some people will not meet the goals that they're looking for, and they'll be on a hot seat, and they'll be trying to keep their job, so they'll be trying to land Giannis. But you got to keep your job until then and through that. And that's where it becomes real tricky. But I'm glad it's not my problem.
Yeah, AJ Griffin, shout out to you. You got out of there, big dog. I hate it. I ain't never seen a coach debut coaching job be 32-14 and get fired, and then you just don't hear from him.
No, he was winning. No, it was better than that. They were number 2 in the East.
I think Crowder said they were 32-13 or something like that, which is an amazing. Right. That's 68-20.
And then 20. And never to be good again.
Never.
Like immediately. Shout out to Glenn Doc Rivers for being himself. He gonna be himself until the end of times. Now we got a couple HBCU quick hits for you.
Wait, let's take a break first. Put that in the pod. You didn't see the private chat, and then come back and put the HBCU in the regular pod. Let's have a drink break first. We are at an hour and 50 minutes.
Hey man, hey, it's trade deadline, and we ain't gonna be here next week, so you got to kind of get it how you live.
We'll be right back. Thank you for tuning into the mic check. Thank you for tuning into the NBA. This is probably gonna be its own video. NBA.
I knew that once we got it going.
NBA trade deadline. Mic check special.
It's a basketball pod now, baby.
Oh yeah. We'll be right back we're gonna take a break.